As a chef, it all starts here. It's just about getting out here and doing it, and you're going to see that that feels better than any swoosh you ever made. I mean, that's going to give you the pride and ownership in any dish. If we don't have soil, we can't grow plants. We can't grow plants, we can't grow delicious vegetables. We can't make delicious plates. We can't do, as a chef, it all starts here. The plants are just that important to us. I mean, and it's really, as a chef, I mean, there's no place I can come out here with an idea for a dinner and say, okay, I want some really small turnips, you know?
Yes.
Like, I just want these little baby radishes that are gonna sit, or turnips that are just gonna sit right there in the plate. And I can do that because I can walk out here and I can pick the littlest baby in the group and say that's the perfect turnip for tonight's dinner.
What is it that you understand now about this turnip versus when we were, 25, 26 and, buying micro turnips from
I mean, I guess
X, Y, and Z, or a bag of turnip?
The simplicity of it,
the flavor.
I mean, it doesn't need a lot. I mean, salt and pepper and some butter on these and you're there. It doesn't take a whole lot more. I mean, it's great. We're gonna put it with some beef belly at the restaurant, and that
hell yes.
Make a nice hash with the farm and fresh egg on top. And
how do we inspire young chefs today to not care about the swooshes on the plates and the foie gras torchon as much as they care about a simple, humble Hakurei turnip?
I mean, I think it's a lot of that is just about getting out here and doing it, and you're gonna see that that feels better than any swoosh you ever made. I mean, that's gonna give you the pride and ownership in any dish.
And they're fucking beautiful.
I grew that, I mean, I grew that.
Yeah.
This beautiful spring mix over here, or this nice weedy spinach that's gonna, after the first frost, it's gonna have that sugars on it that you don't even, you don't ever get from that California triple wash that comes to you.
You feel it's important for the cooks to actually come out here and see and touch the soil?
Yeah. I mean, this is, watching us do it is great, but the next step is you got to get out on a farm and go see it and feel it and know why, and you'll begin to feel the why pretty quickly. It's not something that's going to be a secret to you.
All about that why.
It's gonna hit you right where it's supposed to.
I mean, the flavor profile of the turnip definitely fits very well with the dish that we already had, so it's really great to be able to build and expand upon dishes that we already have just based on what's coming out of the farm. It adds kind of more of a creative component to the job that I really enjoy.
The key is that they're all, they're all going to be that nutrient dense. They're all going to be that flavor, coming from the same soil, the minerality. So whether it's carrot or it's turnips, Hakurei turnips, the crunch is there, the flavor profile is there, but the quality is also there. So we know that's going to happen every time. So.
I feel like a huge problem nowadays is people are so removed from their plates. You know, they don't know where these vegetables are sourced from. They don't know, you know, what it takes to grow these kind of vegetables.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that, you know, it complements the cycle. It works really well in Colorado. I mean, we've been able to do 6 successions of it this year already, you know, so it grows, so that you got that. But, you know, we use a lot of growing techniques, and the idea behind those growing techniques are all to build minerals in the soil, build the microbiome in the soil, to be able to then produce vegetables that are both nutritious and delicious at the same time, which is a big, sounds a little cliche, but it's actually like, isn't that the goal, right?
House cured beef belly with comb feed fingerlings, apple slaw, Hakurei turnips, and farm fresh egg.
All right, today we have our smoked beef belly hash, little farm fresh egg on top, micro arugula. We have a Hakurei turnip in there and fingerling potatoes. Enjoy.
Come on, look at that perfect egg yolk. I'm gonna do what I always do and like disassemble these beautiful dishes so I can pick each part out. Annoying chefs. Betsy always loves when I dip my finger in my I just gotta taste a little bit.
My
of
wife likes it
sauce.
when I actually dip my finger in her food and try a little sauce here or there at a nice dinner.
No.
She really
Chef's
thinks that's classy.
Just starting. I mean, that like brown butter. You got the intensity of the beef belly. All right. Look at that caramelization right there. That is the good stuff. I really appreciate that. There's the top still on there. It's got incredible flavor
Yeah,
to
those
it.
greens on there were banging.
And the greens, we get rid of them. They go in the trash half the time. They're delicious. Come on. It's like the perfect representation of the soil, of like the Colorado sun, of like fresh air. That's what it feels like. It's just super clean, simple, intense sweetness. I can't even describe that. If you've had a turnip that comes pre-washed 3 times, that already has the tops completely cut off, that comes in a giant plastic bag, a 25-pound bag, and you think you know what a turnip tastes like, you were wrong. This is what a turnip is supposed to taste like. It's just the clean soil. I mean, it tastes so fresh and vibrant. The texture of it, where there's like crunch to it, yet it's also really like silky on the palate. It's not grainy. Like a lot of times turnips, like rutabagas, can feel like there's a lot of like sinew in there.
Fiber, yeah.
And fiber and this awkward texture to it. This is really, really silky smooth, so I really appreciate this. There's a lot of intense flavors going on here. You have the egg, which some of that egg yolk seeped into that last bite that I had. The beef bellies are, I mean, look at the Maillard, look at the caramelization on that guy. Really salty, smoky, and intense. Yet the turnip, which is a pretty simple, humble ingredient, its flavor profile, it doesn't have the intensity of a lot of other ingredients. It still stands up. And the reason that it stands up is because it comes directly from the farm. So it's literally in the ground an hour ago. It's still beating. I can feel the vibrance of like the earth in it. This is so important. And this is what we are trying to focus these stories on. When Taylor and I were coming up in the industry, even here in Denver, you know, being the hot shit chefs of Denver on Larimer Square for years, we cared so much about the swoosh on the plate and the plating tweezers and, you know, the foie gras and the caviar. Still love that stuff, absolutely. But now to see the maturity that Taylor as a chef and as a farmer, their storytelling, to be able to put the modest and simple Hakurei turnip that most people have never experienced on a pedestal at the level of foie gras and caviar, that's what's going to change this industry into the future. That's what we need to be focusing on. That's why we highlight the stories of people that are doing meaningful things. Innovation may not seem like growing your own Hakurei turnip. I think it is absolutely the innovation and the evolution that this industry needs, that we need to focus on, that we need to celebrate. And so I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to eat a dish like this, because every single component every single step of the process in the story is meaningful and it's personal. And that's what matters. Because if it's just about what goes on the plate, anybody else can put these same ingredients on a plate. It's who gets it to the plate that truly matters. You know that that's what I'm always looking to highlight, and that's what a dish like this represents. So I'm grateful, and it's just fucking delicious. Cheers. The trust and confidence that you have as an owner, operator, farmer, chef, to be able to hand such a precious ingredient like this turnip that you had to work your ass off, that took so much time, money, and effort, infrastructure, trial and error, to pass that off to somebody like Chef and know that he's going to do the right thing with it. Like, how important is that to you?
Well, I mean, trial and error got me there. I mean,
Yeah.
like we went through a couple of chefs who didn't understand what I was, you know, I don't want to say they didn't understand what I was doing, but they didn't understand, like,
Maybe you didn't understand what you were doing, right?
There's a lot of times I'd find those same ingredients 3 weeks later in the walk-in back in a corner, and they had just wilted to nothing because they never ended up using them. And so it's a maturity level on his part that like he really does. He takes the opportunity. He takes the pieces that he has in front of him, and he's pushing SteakBar in the right direction as far as our cuisine goes. And so that's how I can continue to check in with him. He and I can talk food, but at the same time, like the day to day, I know it's fine. I don't have to show up here on a Friday night to see if they're killing it, because they're killing it. So it makes it so I can focus on the farming or focus on the businesses and keep all those pieces rolling. So
That is crucial. You have to have that.
yeah. I mean,
Otherwise, you have to do everything. And we spent plenty of time in our careers trying to do everything. And then
yeah,
we could do nothing
you
that
can't.
well, right?
You can't. You end up just spinning your wheels. And well, I mean, in order to keep guys like that and keep them in place, we got to make sure we continue to value them and continue to tell everybody how good they are and give them the opportunities to have input on not just the menu, you know, writing the menu, but also writing the farm plan and being involved in, like, what are we putting in the ground this spring, and how many pounds of that are you gonna need over each month, and starting to figure those type of pieces out and looking at it as a bigger picture. So
Yeah, and then that empowers them, right? And then the creativity that you have, again, isn't about the swoosh, isn't about the 17 touches on the plate that I've been guilty of, a lot of us have.
oh yeah, I mean,
It's
I
the
still
4
throw down.
touches,
Yeah.
the 5 touches that are the purest representation of you, your story, your community, the work that you guys do. And cultivating that, I think that's something that we need to capture, that I think you're doing a great job of, that Chase now, as you know, late 20s chef, is like you're really starting to kind of hit your stride. You can go down this rabbit hole of like trying to just do the craziest shit because you can. Just because you can put it on the plate doesn't mean you should.
No.
Right?
Just
so
because
it's
you
like,
can does not mean you
things can
should.
you take off of that plate and still have it be super dynamic and exciting? And that's a challenge, because getting chefs to go, hey, I'm just going to give you 3 ingredients and have them go, hell yeah, and that's inspiring them and keeping them motivated, that's a challenge.
Well, I mean, but it's about what those 3 ingredients are.
That's it.
I mean, if you go to Costco and pick up 3 ingredients for them and throw them 3 vegetables and throw them in front of them that are from 1,000 miles away and picked 2 months ago, like, they're gonna have to add something to that in order to make it pop. But if you give them the opportunity to say, hey, I want watermelon radishes, I want, koji nut squash, whatever it is, like,
Yeah, I want those things.
here's the seed catalog, go ahead and start writing your menu that way. Like, that's where dynamic things can start to happen.
Oh, dude, I love it.